and welcome to Mukherjee Partho channel. Today we will see what is happening with the various cricket boards of the countries in the aftermath of World Cup 2007. Well, Australia are the champions, but then it seems that the Australian team is reluctant to visit Zimbabwe later this year, and the Australian Prime Minister has said if the team does not want to go, it's okay with him, and it must be said that there could be a fine of $2 million if Australian team does not go, and the government is willing to pay that. Now let's move to the Indian subcontinent. The Indian Cricket Board, which is supposed to be the richest in the world, having income in the excess of $100 million, has not paid its players for the last 7 months. And the new contract has not yet been signed because the players are saying that the conditions that are being offered are grossly unfair. Now we will come back to that later. Let's see what's happening to Pakistan. Well, Pakistan was supposed to play against Sri Lanka in Abu Dhabi, but it seems that the series, which was supposed to start on 9th May, has been postponed indefinitely, and one does not know whether the series will at all take place. Now the Pakistan Cricket Board has decided that the powers that were there with the captain earlier has now been curtailed. In other words, the powers that were there with Inzamam al-Haq, the previous captain, to select the team for a particular match has been taken away, and let's see what happens when Pakistan plays for the next series. It seems that the chief of the selectors, Salahuddin, will have more say, and the new captain, Shoaib Malik, may not have that much say. Now, Shoaib Akhtar, the fast bowler who remains more in controversy than in cricket, is expecting to come back into the team sometime in September. He says he's fully fit. As the cricket fans would know, that Shoaib Akhtar's name has been involved in lots of controversies, right from the drug, the doping, as well as the problems he has had in the overseas tours, where one did not know whether the girls came closer to Shoaib Akhtar or Shoaib Akhtar got closer to them. But the fact of the matter is that both are sort of inalienable as far as the past history goes. Now, what happens to the aftermath of the investigation of the Pakistan's former coach Bob Woolmer's death? One does not know. All that one can say is that Bob Woolmer's body was cremated near Cape Town in a private ceremony. What is very interesting is that the news came some time back that Bob Woolmer might have become target of some very radical elements because he had expressed his displeasure of the Pakistani players spending more time on prayers and even going off the field during the matches, and even playing loud music purported to be of a Muslim revivalist movement called Taghribi Jamaat. Now we don't know what is the truth, but all that is known at this point of time is that the Jamaican police is investigating. They seem to have figured out that those were the two people who last were seen close to the room of Bob Woolmer, but nothing beyond that. Now, as far as the coaching is concerned, well, Indians are still looking for a coach, and it is said that the Bangladesh's outgoing coach Dav Watmore could be one of the major candidates. Australia's former coach John Buchanan said that during World Cup 2007, before the team left, the Australian team left West Indies for Australia, some indirect talks were held or indirect contacts were made with John Buchanan from the Indian side, and John Buchanan is reported to have told them that he is not interested in a coaching assignment. He wants to be more of a mentor coach, and one does not know whether he would like to give any tips to whether it is Dav Watmore or anybody else who becomes the coach of Indian team. Now, Tom Moody, who was the coach of the Sri Lankan cricket team, he is going to have some very interesting talks and some very significant talks on 14th of May, and that's the time when it will be decided what his future course of action is. As far as West Indies is concerned, well, their trip to England is on because the players have signed the contracts. There was some problems. The matter has gone to the arbitration. The players have said that they have signed the contracts for the moment so that the series against England can be played from middle of May. And as you all know, Ram Naresh-Sarwan will be leading the team, but Darren Ganga has been appointed the vice captain. Now let us come back to the farce that is going on with the Indian Cricket Board, where the officials claim to be highly efficient, but it seems that the officials of the Indian Cricket Board are quick to shoot from the mouth, and later on they realize that what they said did not make much sense. The secretary of the Indian Cricket Board, he came back from the World Cup Cricket 2007 saying that in the ICC board meeting in June 2007, they might be a no confidence motion against the CEO of ICC, that is Malcolm Speed. But then later on it was realized by the BCCI top mandarins that bringing a no confidence perhaps is not so easy because they're all paid employees. And people jumped on this suggestion, and even the Sri Lankan board President Dilip Mendes said that they might consider supporting India's stand, and Pakistan is quite unhappy. But then what is happening with the players? Well, the senior players are saying that the draft contract that has been given to them has slashed the contract amounts. Perhaps the Indian cricket fans would know that the previous contract had three categories, A, B and C. The category A players were getting something like $120,000, category B players were getting something like $80,000, and category C a little more than $40,000. But now the contract stipulates that there would be a flat retainership fee of the order of $12,000 only for all players, whether he is a Sachin Tendulkar or he is a newcomer Piyush Chawla. Now the players are saying that with regard to the endorsement also, there are some very stiff conditions, and the conditions seem to be more oriented towards the BCCI's own sponsors. Now the players have refused to sign the contract, and the BCCI has slightly softened the stand, says that the team let it go to Bangladesh, play their 3 ODI series and 2 test match series and come back, and then they can sign it. Now one thing is very sure, that the Indian fans are very upset with the stand taken by the Indian players. They are saying that after the miserable performance in the World Cup, they have no face to demand for higher compensation. Now what must be said is that on one hand, the Indian players have performed poorly. They got to be pulled up. They need a kick on the backside so that they are jolted out of the fancy towers, and they know what they're supposed to do. That is, they're supposed to play well. But at the same time, the conditions should be fair and reasonable. Now, if there is a flat retainership fee, paying only $12,000, which works out to be little more than 50,000 Indian rupees per month, is a bit too low. Because some of the players will get endorsements, and that will partially compensate their income. But what about the newcomers? They may not get any endorsement at all. So what the BCCI top people, the officials can do is to give them a reasonable retainership fee, something like Indian rupees, more than 1 lakh Indian rupees per month kind of a retainer fee. And at the same time, they can be given a little more of bonus if they do well, and that is what the BCCI top officials are trying to do. But they can stipulate one thing, which some of the foreign other boards do, that whatever endorsement income the players have, that should be shared with the board. Now let's see what happens when the Indian team comes back from Bangladesh and what all situations develop. But for the moment, the various boards are having a lot of turmoil within themselves, and while I sign off, I must tell you that the powers of the New England coach Peter Moores has also been curtailed, and unlike the previous coach Duncan Fletcher, he will have less say in the formation and selection of the team. So a lot of changes are going on in the cricket world at this point of time. Till next time, this is Partho Mukherjee saying goodbye, and it is good to have you with us.